I'm gonna keep making videos at a steady pace from now on. And I got
language, the most important factor in the human race, aside from air and food and water and shelter. For thousands of years, humans have spoken their languages amongst each other. There's a cultural division because of different languages and dialects, but the fact that anyone made languages is awesome. Some Germanic dudes made a hiccup though. Well, first off, they just named the language after the English people because they were a little lazy, and second, the language is living off of Latin's blood. See, basically what happened, if I got my history right, is 3 Germanic tribes attacked Britain a really long time ago. These tribes were the Jukes, the Saxophones, and the Angles. Yeah, that's right, Angles. Another reason I hate math. Anyway, those dudes invaded and decided, or in other words, let's make a language called English so that in a couple thousand years someone can invent Wikipedia and dictionary.com so that they can explain for half a paragraph that every new word in the language is evolved from Latin. They all agreed, and so it began. I probably just butchered and made a sandwich out of that history, but I really don't feel like reading the whole Oxford English article. Anyway, let's skip to modern day where we have Pete the Cat and Facebook videos. Okay, I lied. I'm going back to change history. I want to go back in time and yell at those tribal guys. Well, on second thought, it might not work because they probably wouldn't be able to understand me saying that curse words didn't exist yet. Nah, just kidding. All jokes aside though, all those websites that define a word in our language always mention that it was heavily influenced by Latin, like, duh, of course it is, those dudes basically created it, or something like that. Did some 5th grader misspell these words on his Latin spelling bee? The words are usually just scrambled and reskinned to be a new language. Anyway, I think you can understand what I'm talking about. I don't see why it's so important to label these words as an evolution of a Latin word. Nobody even speaks Latin anymore, not even in Latin America. So sad. I remember in 3rd and 4th grade, Latin was hype. So many people were learning it. That and French. Like, for real, y'all are putting time and effort to learn a language you will absolutely never need in your life. Not only that, you're learning it on Google Translate. I don't understand why people freak out so much about word origins anyway. Half the time I'd say they're wrong. People might say a word like milk evolved from Latin, but I say not. The reason being that there are languages with words that came before Latin. For this example, the word for milk in German is Milch. Okay, that's a fair point, right? Sounds like milk. What is it in Latin? Lac! You telling me that milk evolved from lac? Well, maybe the scientific term is lac, but that don't mean that I'm gonna go up to a cow and say, hey, can you make me some lac real quick? Yeah, man, no problem. You got a bucket? No! That is not right! If you think lac is the origin of milk, you have a lack of common sense. Tell me that milk is Latin. It is clearly Germanic. And you were absolutely insane if you try to tell me not. You know, English is a great language to communicate with because of all the specifics. It can make speaking easier, but if I'm in a meeting, am I going to explain every word I use as a word originating from Latin meaning so-and-so? No, I'm not. And for those of you who think you're cool for learning Latin, you're not cool. You wasted your precious time so you could flex on some 7-year-olds in Minecraft. Besides, why spend time like that when you can study for your Math 6 SOL? I know this one was kind of short, but this is one of those things that I don't have too much to say about. Today's lesson is, never make a language that supposedly evolved from your mother language, because in a few thousand years, someone's going to write some annoying Wikipedia articles about it. And with that, I'm out.